I need to apologise to a neighbour, Brenda. And I need to doubly apologise because I'm not even sure if that's her name. A few years ago, we had a fabulous dog called Brody, a rescue dog. And Brody was old and infirm and had got into very bad habits. Every night, Brody would go for its last walk of the day on its own. So we'd just walk up to the bus stop, have a quick wee, and then come home again. And then one night, Brody didn't come home. So we're all panicking, and we're looking in lanes and skips and gardens and everything, and my daughters are putting up posters of the dog on trees, and we're distraught. And 3 days later, still no sign of the dog, so we're totally prepared for the worst. So one of my daughters doesn't give up. She goes online, she finds this lost dog website, and there's Brody looking out at us. Overweight dog found in such and such an area.
Wow.
And it's our dog, and so we're delighted. And there's a number there. So we ring the number, and it's this lady, Brenda. She was a leading member of the dog community. So our dog had a little mini break.
Like Wayne.
Yeah, like Wayne. With Brenda, against its will.
Yeah.
So we rang the number, the dog was returned. She scolded us a little bit for, allowing the dog to do this sort of thing. And we were just delighted to see the dog. But anyway, a few days later, I was on a radio show in Ireland, on national radio, and the presenter happened to mention that he'd got a new dog. And he asked me, did we ever have a dog? And I said, funny you should ask. Last week, my dog was kidnapped. And then I kind of embellished the story for comic effect and talked about the 3 or 4 days my dog was in captivity and imagining what it got up to and all that sort of thing. And I got home about an hour later, and I was delighted with myself, thinking, that went really well.
It. National radio.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
The country thinks I'm hilarious.
Hilarious.
And an hour later, the doorbell rings. And it's Brenda. And I run and hide behind the washing machine, and it's my safe space. And my wife answers the door, and she goes, "Oh, he's inside, come on in." And so Brenda comes into our house, and I come out from behind the washing machine, and I go, it's yourself. She's really upset. She said that I humiliated her on national radio, and I trashed her reputation in the dog community. And all for the sake of a cheap laugh. So.
And now we're doing it again.
I know. I worked for an airline briefly, and I was a check-in person. So if a lovely person came along, let's say a lovely lady, for example, I would give her a really nice seat, and then I would keep a note of her seat number, and then if a lovely man came along, I would put them together. I would play the god of romance. And likewise, if a horrible person came along, I would put them sitting beside a really horrible person. And this helped pass the time. But one day, this very objectionable man came along, and he was given out to me for some delay or something, like a storm or something, and he was very, very important, and he was going to Washington on a business trip. And I gave him a good seat to Washington, but I sent his bag to Warsaw. And I'm not sorry.
That is devious. I like that. Yeah, that's quite unforgivable.
The first time I ever went to a restaurant without my parents, I did a runner. I'm sure we've all done it. Have we?
No.
We've all done it. I mean, it is a terrible thing, and I hate myself for doing it. So myself and my friend James, we had never done a runner before, so we didn't know exactly what was involved or anything. Anyway, we have all our starters and main courses, desserts, and we have the wine and everything, and we're laughing away throughout the whole thing. If you were working in a restaurant, you'd know, what are they laughing at? They must be up to something. And then at the pre-arranged signal, we ran. We actually trained for this. And we ran for about 2 or 3 miles so as he wouldn't be able to catch us. So that was grand. We got away with it. So the adrenaline is really high, and you think this is brilliant. So, so we tried it a few other times and eventually caught out a few years later in London. We were all sitting around in a pizza restaurant.
Yes.
And there was about 10 of us all together. 8 of them ran. I froze. I panicked. I had developed a conscience in the meantime or something. And so myself and this other guy, we were left behind, and we had to pay for everybody for the whole.
No.
Yeah.
We did something similar. And one of our number, it was not me, during the meal, went out to a local phone box and phoned the restaurant to say that there was a bomb in the restaurant. So they cleared the restaurant.
And then you did put a bomb in, didn't you?